Hi there, crafty friends. Tina here. I hope your day is going fabulous. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to create a card with the Spellbinders Clear Stamp of the Month Club Kit for August 2021. Now this month's club kit is the stamp set is called Hex Tile Stamps. There's 13 clear stamps in here, an outline floral, but it's layering, so there's some layering elements to create your project. Now I was actually inspired by my sleeve. So I thought, let's create a blue card. My sleeve kind of reminded me of a Delft pattern. Delft pattern is basically a blue tone-on-tone pattern. It comes in lots of different, drapery, furniture. Furniture is actually my favorite. And then also china or porcelain dishes. So I thought we would create a card using the layering stamp and some monochromatic blues. We are going to start off by taking a panel. This is Glacier cardstock. Glacier is a very soft pale blue, and I'm going to take the outline stamp, put this on an acrylic block, and we're going to just basically stamp all four corners. Make it easy. My panel size measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches, so it's going to leave me a 1/4 inch around my card base. We're going to ink up with my VersaFine Onyx Black ink carefully. Isn't that a beautiful floral? There's no leaves in here. Maybe that's just what makes it different, and that's what just catches my eye, and I thought I'd make a good Delft pattern. But we're going to stamp it in the top left, kind of twisting and turning it, and then we'll ink up our outline stamp again and stamp it in the right corner. And I think just stamping it in the upper corner with the black ink is so pretty on its own. We're just going to continue stamping in all the corners. I wasn't sure if I should go all the way in the midsection, but I was afraid it was going to overlap. So we're going to just go ahead and stamp the corners. We'll ink this up, and I'm getting ink all over my hands. That's the bad thing about the VersaFine Onyx Black ink. At least with me, I get it all over my hands. Memento I don't, but this ink I do. We're going to stamp our last corner here. And I just think this is so pretty. Now's the fun part. We're going to use some Distress Oxide inks to ink up our background. It's going to give it that a smokiness, because I chose some very dark blues. So I layered my first floral. It's the largest floral in the stamp set. The most solid image in the stamp set, I should say. I'm inking it up with Stormy Sky. I stamped it a couple of times, and then it's very easy to line up too, guys. You can use there's a flat flower petal that you can use for a guide to line up, but I found it easy to use the little point in the flower center. In the center of the most solid floral, there is a point. So line it up with the point on your stamped image, and it's so easy. Everything else just falls together. So I did all 4 of my florals. Now we're going to take our profile view here of our flower and stamp that. Easy again to line up. This one I actually used the base of the flower to help line up. It's very easy. We'll ink this up a couple times and finish off with our Stormy Sky. Now I'm going to go for an even darker smoky blue ink. I'm going to use Faded Jeans to create our second layer, and we'll add these. We can do these both at the same time. So we'll take both of our second layers. Again, the second layer, find the point on it of the flower center and line it up. It makes it so easy. And then for our profile flower, use the pointed edges at the very bottom of your second layer. It's very easy to line up. Not as easy as the larger floral, but it's easy to line up. We can do both of these at the same time. Now this would make a great square card, guys. If you wanted to use a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 panel and stamp all the corners, it would stamp beautifully, and all you'd have to do is rotate your paper instead of cleaning off your stamp and then repositioning it. So you could do a square card with this too. Now after I have all my second layer stamped, I'd use Faded Jeans again for my second layer. Now we're going in with our little flower clusters. There are 2 images. These are just single layers, and I opted for Shaded Lilac. It's a purpley blue, and it looks very purpley here in the pictures, but in the close-ups you'll see that it does pull back a little bit, and I just love the contrast of the colors versus just the blue colors of the faded jeans and the Stormy Sky. So we are stamping those with Shaded Lilac, all of our little floral clusters. Okay, so while I have my Misty out, we're going to stamp our sentiment. There's 3 in the stamp set. There is Made with Love, A Gift for You, and I'm stamping Life is Better with You. I'm stamping it on that same Glacier cardstock with my black ink, and then I'm going to bring in some square dies. I'm going to turn my square dies so I can create a diamond shape. I think a diamond shape will fit better on my project. I kind of like those profile blooms, and I don't want to cover them up. So obviously my die is a little bit too large, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is bring in my paper trimmer, and once I die cut this out in a triangle shape or a diamond shape, I can just trim 1/4 inch off of each side and keep that square shape. It's just a 1/4 inch smaller basically. Just use the paper trimmer, go around, take off a 1/4 inch, and you're good to go. I think this was a perfect measurement here. Okay, after we have this done, I'm going to go ahead and bring in a piece of vellum. I thought we would mat our sentiment on some vellum, so I just taped it down, and you can use your paper trimmer to trim this, but this is such a small square that I'm just going to use my scissors and trim off. It's not quite a 1/4 inch around my sentiment, it's a little bit less, but I just do have that that interest with that. Okay, after we have this done, we're going to go ahead, and there's a little, it looks like a spine of a leaf, but it's meant to be like a little flourish. I'm going to go ahead and fill in some open areas with this in my background. My sentiment is a bold black, and this little piece is a pretty thick flourish. It's the lines in your stamp set are very fine lined. So I'm just taking this and going around the edges, adding some black detail, adding some thickness around my panel. This way it kind of just leaves a little bit of balance, because you have the fine lines of your stamped image, and then you have the bold lines of your sentiment. Adding just those little flourishes is going to help out. Okay, we're going to flip over our panel and add this to an A2 size card base. Just going to go in the center, and again we have about a 1/4 inch around our card base. I did pop up my sentiment with some foam tape. We'll pop this right in the center. Life is better with you, and kind of making sure it's positioned. I think I could have stamped that flourish on the right a little bit more at an angle, because we have that little open area, but I think we can fill it in with some Nuvo Simply White crystal drops. I'm adding dots to the center of all the flowers, and then I added dots around those little bold line flourish on the left and right as if they were berries. I thought that would be a great filler, so I just added a little dimension with those two. Last but not least, we're going to bring in some sparkle, and I'm excited to use the sparkle silk. This is the silver sparkle silk, and it is from Spellbinders, and it's like in a nail polish glass container. You shake it up really good. There's a ball bearing in there that will help shake it up. But you just splatter it, and it gives a beautiful shimmer effect, especially when you have oxiding. So it does oxidize some of the ink, adding a little bit of distressed look, but it does add some sparkle. So that's my project today, using the Clear Stamp of the Month Club Kit for August 2021. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have a fabulous rest of your week. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.